Hello, my name is Nick Ciccatelli. Some of you might recognize me from the Fox Point Neighborhood Association. I've been on the board there for several years and currently in my second year as its president. I want to get into some of the work that we've done with FPNA, but first I want to also thank Sharon Steele and the JDA for hosting this event. There are candidates coming from the DNA and FPNA, so this is, I suppose, neutral ground in the war. So FPNA, as you guys are probably acutely aware of, maybe you're not, it has a similar function to our sisters at DNA and JDA in that we are regular watchdogs for the happenings of the neighborhood. That is, the development, the liquor license applications, and so on. And so we regularly discuss what we're looking to do as a community, and then opine in whatever way that we see deemed necessary. So that's supporting letters, dissenting letters, offering testimony, jumping up and down, grabbing the pitchfork, whatever it takes. As president, I've been proud to really take up the mantle of taking it directly to city boards, commissions, etc., committees, to let those committee members know that there is 700 strong coming from Fox Point in our membership alone, another 12,000 in this ward that care about what happens there, and that it's an organized group as well. So things that I regularly take a personal association with are the 195 Commission applications. We've been majorly in favor of several, including the Spencer project, which unfortunately did not end up going through. We've also been heavy-handed in trying to stop projects we don't like the Carpino application, which also, thankfully, that successfully did not go through. And we're big fans of what's going to happen with the upcoming Trader Joe's. So next, I'd like to talk a little more about my background and professional experience, and then go into why I want to be your next city councilman. So I was born on a cold day. It was a Saturday. All right, so for school, I went to D.C. for college at the George Washington University. I got a BA in political science. Years later, I went to school again at the University of Rhode Island. I had 2 master's degrees there, one in political science, another one in public administration. So based on what I've been choosing to study, you can see that I've got an interest in ways I can be of service to government and public politics. Professionally, I have experience in the political scene going back to, well, I don't go too far back, but basically 2006 I've been volunteering or working professionally on campaigns. I was part of the DiCaprio General Treasury Administration, as well as his candidacy for governor in 2009-2010. In 2014, I managed Ralph Mollis's lieutenant gubernatorial bid. He was the term-limited Secretary of State. And all the while, I've really enjoyed meeting a lot of the nooks and crannies of the community in different parts of the state and city that you don't get to see pretty much any other time. And it can be a very rewarding and challenging road to take. And if your candidate doesn't win, disappointing one. But happy to have been a part of that nonetheless. I've also consulted on several local races around town, the West Side last 2008 election, etc. I make my living, though, in a slightly different way. I'm self-employed around the real estate industry. I have a real estate license. I have a property management business, an apartment business on the east side in the ward. And so I'm also finely tuned and acutely aware and constantly looking at what's happening with real estate and what forces are behind applications and perhaps the economic side of it. So why I would like to be city councilman. There's been ongoing conversations, including Anthony and I have had conversations about this, what happens after Seth Yerden would have been term limited. He obviously resigned ahead of that term limit, but there's a major issue on our horizon that is not really being discussed as much as it should be, and that is that we will have, including Seth, 7 council people coming off of the city council at the same time. That's roughly half of the city council leaving at once. And with them, there's going to be a tremendous amount of institutional memory and institutional knowledge. So what happens in times like that, if history is any teacher, it becomes a free-for-all for lobbyists and special interests to jam down bills that inexperienced or community council necessarily didn't know to resist. And frankly, I think that because so many are happening at once, look, I'm a fan of term limits. I thought that was a good idea. Term limits to prevent another buddy fiefdom or something like that. Some say it might be Sicilian. Either way, term limits are fine, but they didn't design them in such a way where, or with this particular eventuality in mind. And so here we are on the cusp of it. I think it's something we really need to prepare for. So being in the business world and being a part of the political scene for as long as I have, I believe I'm in a great position to take up that charge. Issues I care about development a lot. I firmly believe that development and increasing the city's population is the only way to get this city back to a place of fiscal health. I don't want to go into numbers exactly, but a $1.3 billion unfunded pension liability, among others, healthcare especially, is going to be a massive challenge. And really the only way out of it is to develop. So with development in mind, though, it has to be smart. We spent 5 years developing the comprehensive plan, and I believe that we should adhere to it. I don't believe that we should be changing that community contract for the profiteers from out of state. So imagine that fame is going to come tonight. I don't want to get into a jest right this moment, but please know that I'm an ardent defender of the comprehensive plan, and I'm in favor of smart development. And when I say smart development, that's projects that take into account the needs of stakeholders in addition to, not just the economic needs or wishes of the developer. So things like parking, things like density, things that, in this latest thing we did with FNA, things like where is the rideshare going to wait for people, things we have to think about. So that's development. Along the development plan, I'd like to build and focus on housing development, and especially affordable development, affordable with a big A, meaning that potential clients would be fitting a certain demographic clientele regarding economic need. So there's some great programs happening at the city that should be expanded upon to encourage affordable development, and it should be prioritized because, let's face it, two things: money goes where it's treated best. So you can't make a developer do anything, and two, when you have the same building costs as Boston, but we get rents about the same as Maine, it's kind of hard to get those goals accomplished. So the public does have to participate, whether that's tax stabilization, tax credits, and looking another way. On tax stabilization, I'm sternly in favor of making the system a universal and or as universal as possible. We did some work in that regard, but a lot more has to be done. Finally, I believe that Providence is a hip, it is a inclusive, it is a diverse, it is a multicultural city, and we must remain ever vigilant to make sure that all people feel welcome here, including, especially dear to my heart, the LGBT community, but also communities that have been traditionally underserved by public services. So, I thank you for your time. I look forward to answering your questions, and I would ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you.